And the reasons are not far-fetched. We are trying to consolidate, find out what happened so that we will not speculate and we'll be precise and compress our response. First, I want to say that as a party, we are disappointed with the judgment simply because all the process as stipulated by the Supreme Court was followed by SDP. We followed the entire process of our submissions. We submitted within the time frame as approved. All our documents were submitted. The tribunal order in line with beavers to INEC was complied with. The petition against the tribunal order was challenged by the opposition party. The Court of Appeal upheld their prayers, but the Supreme Court overruled their prayers. So we rely on the Supreme Court ruling on that as regards to beavers inspections and the forensic analysis of the beavers machine. So for us, it is quite very disturbing at the period when we believe or we thought that the judiciary have deeply reflected on the positions of Nigerians as regard to the justice system. We equally thought that after the last Supreme Court judgments as regards to the last presidential election, a very strong pronouncement made by the Supreme Court, we thought the judges are really working to redeem the image of the judiciary. That was our conviction. And that is why throughout the sitting of the tribunal, as a party, we did not issue any statement, despite so many allegations based on social media reporting. We decided to keep quiet to respect the dignity of the tribunal. And we did that in good faith, in consonance with our principle to respect the institutions that have been established by law. But disappointingly, the hearing of the notice of the judgment was in public domain on the social media commencing from 24th May 2024, while the official notice from the secretary to the tribunal was issued and served on the 26th of May 2024. Secondly, the chairman commenced reading of the judgment at exactly 9:18 a.m. on the 27th, while barely 30 minutes after, the social media already carried out the news of the petition as dismissed, stating reasons contained in the judgment. At the time, it was still at the ruling of the preliminary objection. The pre-hearing stage, different media houses had it on social media. Muri Ajaka petition dismissed by the tribunal by 10 a.m. Sahara Reporters published the judgment on the 27th May at 10 a.m. while the judges are reading the judgment. Sahara Reporters, I don't know how, what miracle, they have gotten the judgment, they published the judgment. This is an aberration of the justice system in Nigeria. So this is very disturbing for our country. It's very disturbing for the judicial processes. The judgment was delivered, the order of the court earlier granted for the production of beaver devices, and the demonstration was set aside on the ground that it was granted in error. That is the chairman of the tribunal that issued various orders reversing himself as if he's a court of appeal. That is the decision of the Court of Appeal to determine whether he granted it in error or not. And after all, the Supreme Court have dismissed what the Court of Appeal have done and have affirmed to the fact that what the tribunal did was okay. So we don't know how can a sitting tribunal judge reverse himself when we have not appealed against the judgment. This is very, very disturbing. It's very alarming. So, like I said, according to the tribunal, there was no basis for granting such order. They granted that order. And the same tribunal is saying there was no basis for granting such order. They were not under any coercion. Nobody was putting any pressure on them. They granted it to give a level field for all the political parties. And we, SDP, and other parties were in INEC to inspect the beavers based on the tribunal order. So there was no any discrimination to favor any party. So for them to come back and say that it was granted, what do you call it, by mistake, facts, what do you call it, forgetting the fact that same order was tested and challenged up to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And the Supreme Court of Nigeria affirmed the order as a valid order. So our major interest here is Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court made it very clear in the case of Nasarawa State, PDP versus APC, that it's not about bringing the beavers to the court. It's about demonstrating the beavers. In this case, we demonstrated the beavers, not just bringing the beavers to the court, but we demonstrated the beavers. Forensic experts analysis took every beaver machine one after the other. Every accredited voters was looked into. And the entire panel of the judges, the legal teams, have seen all the records in the beavers machine. We have done all that. We comply with the Supreme Court judgment that culminated into the last presidential election. So I don't know why we got it wrong. But the judgment did not mention exactly where we got it wrong. Rather, they blame themselves for the order they have given. Yeah. And SDP became a victim of what they don't know. There's no justification for SDP to be a victim of something that they are not part and parcel of. We thought that judiciary is an independent arm of government that have the liberty, have the right to determine the merit or the merit of the case that have been submitted before them. But like I've said, we need to air our views. We are appealing against it. We are going up to the Supreme Court because we want to follow the judgment of the Supreme Court, because we are sure we have complied with the judgment of the Supreme Court. So we are not giving up. We cannot be intimidated by whatever means or ways. Simply put, people need to rub their way to success. We have the capacity to checkmate such kind of thing. And I'm happy the public opinion that was published went against that judgment overwhelmingly. 80% of the public judgment opinion was against that judgment. There's no way 3 local government can wipe away 9 local government. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria. Anything is possible in Nigeria. And these are the possibilities that we have seen. None of the other parties brought any other report to contradict both the inspection report and by the forensic expert. None of them contradicted what the forensic expert have presented before the judge. The judgment was published by Sahara Reporters at 10 a.m. while the tribunal was still reading the judgments. Finally, same goes to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal, in the course of tribunal proceedings, before which Supreme Court later reversed and confirmed the order of the tribunal. So we are appealing to the Court of Appeal. The judgment, we believe, was done in bad faith. We want to see what the Court of Appeal will do. The President of the Court of Appeal constituted the tribunal, and this is the verdict of it. And we are appealing this judgment before the Court of Appeal. And the quality of the judgments is left for Nigeria to judge and seek a way out of this rascality. But we also want to put on notice that SDP will not let go. We are appealing to the NBA, Nigerian Bar Association. We are appealing to NJC to look into the behavior of some of the judges so that they will not undermine our country, they will not undermine our judicial system. Part of the crisis Nigeria is having today is because of injustice. Some of the judges need to know that they don't own Nigeria. We are all co-owners of Nigeria. If you pass a judgment that will undermine the stability of the nation, history will record you. And you should remember, you also have a family. You will be asked questions on your behavior in office, the kind of justice you have delivered for the nation. Now, the other area of concern to us, which is of major significance as a development in the country today, we as a party, we have assessed the 1 year of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. And it is a consensus of Nigerian opinion, almost 90%.